Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to Company of Heroes 3, which was unlocked for pre-purchase just the other day on Steam, and along with the announcement of the pre-orders also came access to a single mission of the new German Africa Core campaign, which we're going to have a look at today. The access to the mission is not contingent upon having pre-ordered the game, so if you've partaken in any of the earlier testings, you should have access to this mission in your Steam library right now. It was followed by a little bit of a surprise, however, namely that the game has a pretty damn high base cost, with $80 being charged for access to the special edition, which comes with the first expansion pack, which is already planned and announced. Hopefully they'll actually release it this time, rather than in the case of Dawn of War 3, where they simply just yoinked the plug after a single piece of DLC. And speaking of Dawn of War 3, so, the higher price point, I think it's about $70 for the regular version in USD, bearing in mind I see it in Norwegian kroner, so, take that with a pinch of salt, etc., but that is a bold move for a company with very, very, very little in the way of, well, goodwill, shall we just say it straight up. After the multifaceted debacle that was Dawn of War 3, excuse me, I would not have expected them to be so bold as to push the $60 envelope already, but here we are. Whether or not the game will be worth the increased price point, well, that is a very interesting question, which we will endeavor to answer at least part ways today, because along with the announcement of the pre-order also came a release date, which I believe to be a big fat Canadian lie, or at the very least, I very much so hope. Because apparently the game is supposed to release in November of this year, about 5 months away. This game is not 5 months away from release, I don't think. It has... Well, it's got assets missing, for God's sake. Straight up, it's got assets that haven't been added into the game. It's got missing asset descriptions. It's got audio bugs. It's got visual bugs. It's got very weird pathfinding. I'd be worried as a Relic employee if I was told that this game is 5 months away from release, but let's just have a look and we'll kind of point it out as we see it. Oh, there we go. Missing entity name. An abandoned weapon can be picked up by infantry squads. Okay, well, that looks like a Bren gun, so sure, let's pick that up. You can capture weapons, as in the old COH, which is lovely, lovely, of course. Oh, I must also mention, they have added the LIG. I keep hearing it pronounced as L-I-G, by the way. 9. LIG. L-E-I-G, standing for Leichte Infanterie Geschütze. Geschütze, jeez. Light infantry gun, basically. See, people keep thinking that the Germans have confusing names. No. They just name it whatever it is. In this case, it's a light infantry support gun. If you wonder what it does, well, the name will tell you quite clearly, which I do like. The introduction of the German Africa Core as well is an interesting one. Well, interesting one. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room right away, shall we? The introduction of the German Africa Core, which I will be calling the German Army of East Africa at least twice over the course of this video, because, well, the World War I book African Kaiser is still, very fresh in my mind, really. One of the first articles I saw about this was from the rather infamous Eurogamer site, which didn't talk a whole lot about the game at all, but it certainly talked a lot about the controversy of having a German campaign in this day and age. Yeah. You knew it was coming, I suppose. And Relic was very clear that they were not going to, indulge in the myth of the clean Wehrmacht or view Rommel as a gentleman's general, etc. Okay, right. first and foremost, the whole clean bear marked thing. Every army in the Second World War committed war crimes because it was a war. Simple goddamn as. And it was a war that was a very long time ago on this point. Just concentrate on telling a good story. That is really all you should be worrying about. And hey, if you can make it a good game too, man, I'd be pretty damn happy. There's also the weird trailer which they created, which I don't quite know what the intent of that was. So if you haven't watched it, it is on the Steam page right now, and it is mostly about some random girl who's smelling fabric. I'm not kidding. And then there's a tank battle that happens for like 2 seconds, and then you're back to following this woman running through the desert, and all I can really keep thinking to myself is, all right, can I see some more of the tank battle, please? I don't know what to extrapolate from that, other than interesting marketing decision, I suppose. I do hope it doesn't signify anything, particularly considering, again, the multifaceted failure that was Dawn of War 3. Oh god. Oh, hey. I've got that little damn thing there. Oh, well, lovely, thank you. That drove right into it.
What do you need?
A little 2-pounder. Well, let's go deal with you, I suppose. I hope I can repurchase that little Opel Blitz there, or can I tow it with that? No, of course not. That would be far too simple. I can buy a medical truck. Let's hope that works. A medical Opel Blitz. Otherwise, I'm kind of stuck in the mission, but presumably they've thought about that. Let's guide ourselves another Panzer III as well. So, returning to the point of Dawn of War 3. These, by the way, are the God, I keep getting off the topic. But anyways, Italian units. Yes, there will be Italian units, although they will be very few and very far between, as they appear to primarily just be additions to the German armies unlocked via various doctrines and call-in units. I would have liked to see an actual... Oh, you gave me a new one. Oh, well, thank you very much. I would have liked to see an actual full-on... Italian faction, especially as you can already tell that they're willing to, push the believability envelope quite far. As here we have an entire squad of Italians wearing goddamn gas masks for some reason in the middle of the desert, all armed with SMGs and flamethrowers. Like, okay, right, we're already pushing the boundaries of historical realism, so why not just make a full-on Italian army? Well, I know why, because they're probably going to make us pay for it in DLC, but... Right. Dawn of War 3. Finally, let's actually get to that bloody point, shall we? Dawn of War 3... made Relic turned them from a company that I would have trusted virtually explicitly. I would have just bought anything they made, especially Dawn of War 3. Like, I would just buy it. Even though, when it was being released, I was a very verbal critic of how it was presented, because it looked weird. It looked very weird. It didn't look like Dawn of War 3. The art style, the gameplay, the removal of sync kills, etc. I had very bad vibes about that game. But even so, okay, right, fair enough. Graphics isn't everything. It's Relic. Surely they will give us what we want. They didn't. In fact, they gave us pretty much the exact opposite of what any one of their fans wanted. This is why I like to call it a multifaceted betrayal, because not just was Dawn of War 3 a bad game, no, a bad game is one thing, and every company's got a little bit of a miss here and there. It was straight up the opposite of what every fan told them that they wanted. Deliberately so, it felt like. It was the developers saying, no, we know way better than you, so we're just gonna make this game, and you just watched us. It's gonna be a huge success. Oh, hello there, could you go away? Massive bloody splash screen thing. Halt. Hello? Oh, the weapon has bugged. Ah. Well... Another good example of why you might not want to be, it's been decrewed, that's what's happening to it. Yes, cannot use ability on target. Recrew weapon. The sound, by the way, can't do anything about it. It is a known bug. Damn, it was fired after it was dead. Okay, can I recrew this thing? No. Okay. Can I use ability on this target? Infantry to recruit the targeted abandoned team weapon. I guess this isn't a team weapon, okay? Can I recrew it with infantry, which is currently fighting a bloody tank? Can I recrew it with this infantry? No. I presume that is a bug then, because that apparently cannot now be recrewed. Alright, well, again, another reason why you might want to reconsider the November release date, frankly. In Company of Heroes 3, though, they have made, at least it appears they have made, a lot more in the way of an effort to listening to the fans, to trying to make the game that the fans actually want them to make, which is a very, very, very good start. They have talked to a lot of content creators, a lot of streamers, and the professional gamers, quote unquote, in the, Relic sphere of games, which, on the one hand, you should absolutely consult these people, but you should also not give their opinions too much value, because being a professional gamer and being just a regular gamer are two very different things. I still have not completely forgiven the pro gamers, for example, for taking away sync kills from Dawn of War. I was about to say 3, Dawn of War 2. Sync kills was a huge part of the game. They were part of its soul. They were part of the reason why it was such a damn cool title. And it's a key part of the Dawn of War franchise, its identity. And it was removed from the initial tier units, the tier 1 units, because it interfered with professional gameplay, because you had a little sync kill, and the unit was then made invulnerable for a period of time, or it locked it into place, meaning that you couldn't withdraw it properly, etc., etc. And hey, I understand the argument from a professional gamer point of view. That is absolutely negative, but, well, to be entirely brutally honest, the pro gaming scene for, Company of Heroes and Dawn of War was never that massive, and I'd rather just have a cool game with cool visuals, frankly. The enemy is continuing to spawn some few units here and there, so I'll just have to try and deal with that. Yep, the audio bugs is in full effect. We'll use a pack to replace our bugged out little flak here. Voice acting is alright. Some of it's considerably better than others. They are... Some of the Germans do not have particularly pronounced German accents, shall we say. The British voice acting is as usually brilliant. It was one of the reasons why I like playing the Brits in COH2, COH1, even though they were absolute garbage unless you abused them mightily with, say, for example, kangaroo spam. Which was only fixed many, many years after the game, when they were actually releasing Company of Heroes 2, by the way. Relic can on occasion be a slightly dodgy video game creator. I do like the addition of the little short battle Stug too, by the way. Nice little field howitzer. The Stugs were actually part of the artillery rather than the panzer forces, incidentally, which is why the people driving them had black uniforms rather than the grey of the panzers. Still, I like to refer to the Stugs with the long barrel 75s as tank hunters because, well, that was the role in which they were the most successful and effective. The Germans really should have used them more as tank hunters. They kept giving them more high explosives ammo, because, they were supposed to be mobile artillery, really, but... Gurkhas. The addition of the Gurkhas are nice, too. They're a nice little colorful unit, aren't they? And the Panzer III. The Panzer III is one of those vehicles that have been requested time and time again, and Relic never really bothered adding them, so it's nice to see them finally on the field now. Which again does give me at least a little bit of hopefulness that they are... Enemy artillery. Alright, where? there, okay? Let's definitely move you repair guys out of the way then. You would excuse my my sniffles. I believe I managed to get myself yet another case of the coof over the weekend, sadly. Mild variant though, so no worries. Just the addition of vehicles like the Panther 3 and the Africa Corps does, again, it just give me a little bit of hope. Maybe I'm being too pessimistic. I hope I'm being too pessimistic. Let's see, can I recrew this, incidentally, with the, I can. Okay, so by weapon team, they specifically refer to the lighter weapon teams. Alright, fair enough. It does make the flak a little bit pointless, though, if you can't recrew it, even with regular infantry. There isn't some kind of weapon crew squad, is there? Doesn't appear to be. Nor can I tow it back to base in any way, it seems. Right. Again, I'm presuming bug on that one. Recrew the MG2, please. The towed weapons, though, I do like the idea of towed weapons. It does mean that the Flak 88 suddenly has a firing arc, which is odd for a literal anti-air weapon, but, well, details. The Flak also decides to not actually shoot at the aircraft that is hovering over your head for large portions of this mission. Perhaps because it has the silhouette of a Stork, a German reconnaissance aircraft, but it's red, so, God knows. But about a skeleton leg, well, nothing wrong with having two legs. Keep murdering, keep murdering. I do like that the Lig has massive range, though. That's a really good ranged infantry support weapon that could be a real hazard to front lines, which is good, because the Lig was a fantastic little gun. It really was. An amazing little weapon. Ah, right. Here we do have a little bit of annoyance for me as well. Right, so let me activate the tactical pause feature, a feature that I'm not actually necessarily not that much of a fan of, but sure. It's nice for, you know, single player, making it a little bit more accessible. Cool. But here, look at this. They've got missing name. Again. But if we zoom in here, you can see this bazooka here. This is a little bit of a weird one, because it's looking like the model of an M1 bazooka, but if I can get it to actually drop, I can try and click on it, because it was labeled in-game as the M9 bazooka, which is a bit of an issue, because the M9 didn't enter into service until 1944, I'm pretty sure, so it should not be fighting the Africa Corps. Let's see if we can make them drop them. Did they just grenade themselves? I don't know what that was. I think they might just have grenaded themselves. Ah, yes, there we go. The M9 bazooka, specifically, yes. Yeah, minor nitpick. Yeah, some M9 bazooka. Wasn't in service yet. Minor nitpick, sure, but I can't help but feel that the old Relic, the Relic that I knew and loved, would have known that, yeah? This is what I mean about that price point as well. Can you not reinforce for some reason? Ah, I hit my unit cap, right. Fair enough. Not gonna bother picking up that ahistorical piece of garbage right there. I can't help but feel that, again, the old Relic would have known that the M9 didn't enter into service until, 1942. Since this game primarily focuses on Italy, it's a bit weird to have it here in the Africa Corps campaign. And hopefully I'm reading far too much into that. It is just a weapon that, hey, on the weapon icon, doesn't even have stats. Or, well, stats. It does have stats, but it doesn't have the name attached to it because they haven't gotten around to adding it yet. Yeah, blown the hell out of that. You guys can go capture that. See if there's anything interesting here. It's a heavy machine gun over there. Let's just retreat you, and we're just going to bomb the shit out of that. Alright, so as to not get too pessimistic here, let me show you some of the explosions, shall I? Because the explosion effects are pretty goddamn neato cheeto. So we've got the Stukas coming up overhead, Stukas level bombing. It's not like they didn't do it, but, you know, dive bombers primarily. Nice, big, meaty explosions. You see the bombs falling. The sound effects, when they work, are pretty damn good as well. Let's call in a strafing run here. You can kind of hear it in the back. It's a little bit difficult to hear, but... Alright, the visual effects there were a little derpy, but still pretty neat, pretty neat. As my tonks one-sidedly just absolutely ruffle stomp all of this nonsense. Also like the addition of the Opel Blitz trucks. They refer to them as half-tracks in the game. Again, I can't help but feel that Relic would have, you know, noticed, and I'm like, hold on, we're describing these things as half-tracks. These are not half-tracks, these are Opel Blitzes, but, Bad Crusader, go away. Taking a little bit of damage, let's repair that, and bring up the legs whilst we're at it, and the pack. I'm very grateful to see the Africa core in game, though. They do remind me a pinch. I thought I ordered you to come up here. They remind me a pinch too much of the Panzer Elites from Company of Heroes 1, in that they've got, you know, half tracks, they got little mobility elements, they got lighter tanks, but then eventually they'll have some much heavier stuff like the Tiger 1, like here. Which, that one did see service in Africa. Not a whole lot of service, but it did see service in Africa. Amongst them, the famous 101 tank, which was, of course, captured by the British, and was one of the reasons why the British could start working up countermeasures for the heavier style of German armor quite early on. Now, I have cheated a pinch by playing this mission once already, so we are going to prepare ourselves for the British counter-attack. This mine-laying thing is a pinch more annoying than I would like it to be, but we can deal. The addition of mines, too, is really nice. It was one of the things I really missed from Iron Harvest, the ability to place down lots of happy little mines everywhere to annoy the enemy. As they're one of those things that require a initial investment, because, you know, you need to actually put down the ammo to place the mine, but it is just so god-dang satisfying when you actually get it to pay off and you cripple or destroy a valuable enemy vehicle. There's nothing better in Company of Heroes 1 than knowing that your enemy was probably quite likely to go for an early Greyhound, for example, and then nabbing it with a perfectly placed telemine. Absolutely delicious. I do need to capture that point to turn it into a resupply area. Preferably before I capture everything else here, so let's send the ridiculous little Italians up there to cap it. Alright, you're doing that. Did you actually build those sandbags? Apparently you didn't. Okay, interesting. I guess I screwed up the shift click at some point. Please. Sandbags. Vickers. Don't need the Vickers right now. Still at max pop cap? Yes, we are. Ah, yes. The the interesting texture job of the Opel Blitz canopy. I mean, the fact that it has, like, damage marks on it is neat, I guess, but this canopy... Oh, yes, by the way. Listen closely as I make it move. You, noticing something? Or more correctly, the complete and utter absence of something? Yeah, some units don't even have sound effects yet, and if you look as well, the wheels don't move. Yeah. Again, I'm 5 months until this game is gonna be released. Sure, it's not something particularly massive. You know, it's like, okay, the wheels don't move, right? I mean, they can fix that, sure, but here's the thing. Every single solitary goddamn awful time in the history of game development, I've said to myself, oh hey, that's not a big deal. I'm sure they'll be able to fix that before release. They haven't. Pretty much universally. So, I'm not entirely sure I want to, frankly, give that much of the benefit of the doubt, because I've been burned on that one before. Maybe they'll fix it before release. I hope they'll fix it before the release, but I'm not going to say that that is an inconsequential thing. Again, they come up with a release date, it's 5 months away, and they haven't added in even basic assets like the wheels on the trucks moving. And this was in the last alpha as well. For example, the Tiger tank had 0 engine noises, which was a massive disappointment because otherwise the sound design in Company of Heroes games tend to be one of the biggest strong points of the game, with really, really great sound and voice acting. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, the gunfire is pretty nice. I mean, that is way too... the smoothing of the camera is mildly annoying. That's why it does that wiggly thing at the edge of the screen all the time. So, the damage decals, that's neat and all, but this is way too many damage decals. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16... I didn't hit it with that many shots. I believe in the previous ones, you actually had damage decals where the vehicles was actually hit. Oh, artillery incoming. Ah, right there. Okay. Uh-huh. Well, that came in before I even had the opportunity to try to move, so... Screw me, I guess. Oh, is it following my infantry? I'm wondering if this isn't some kind of British, like, zonal control kind of call-in thing. Because it doesn't seem to be requiring any kind of line of sight or anything like that, and it seems remarkably homing in on your unity. Yep, it just nailed all of the various vehicles, okay. Yeah. Mildly infuriating, but very well. Can I recruit this? I can. Okay, let's recruit. More enemy artillery? Alright. I mean, there's no real point in me trying to dodge, because it seems like it pretty much homes in on my unit, so... I don't know what you want me to do. That is in your firing arc. Could you, maybe, shoot them? No? No? No. Oh, there we go. Now it can see them. Uh-huh. Right. I guess there was some kind of smoke effect there or something. Oh, was that it? Ah. That was quick. Alright, so... Some conclusions from this first mission right here, right? Graphically, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's suitable. It's less ridiculously colorful than early on, which is nice. It is still way too bright, and there's still no way to adjust the brightness, which is just dumb. Like, this was a massive complaint in the previous alpha release. Tons of people complained about it. I complained about it. Sent in the little survey, like, god damn, brightness slider, for God's sake. And yet that's still not in. Like, that's just stupid. It's just a brightness slider. It's been months since the last alpha. Add it in. The zoom is another thing. You can't fix the speed at which you're zooming in and out, which is an annoyance, but more importantly, the zoom is way too bloody close. There's gotta be some options to fix that. There's gotta be. It does not need to be that close. No, absolutely not. The The lack of basic assets like weapons not having descriptions, wheels not turning, units not having sounds. I get it, right? It's an alpha, feature incomplete, etc. But you're 5 months from release, and frankly, after years of being told alpha, 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 I don't give a shit. When a company tells me something is in alpha, I simply go, uh-huh. So, I don't care. These days, games are in alpha up until release, and if you're telling me that your game is genuinely, as to be fair it appears to be, feature incomplete less than half a year from release, I am going to go very, very skeptical. And when you combine that with a very high pre-order price, I'm sorry, but that's, I don't want to think the thought, but are you just trying to get my money and run? Because it's kind of how it feels like. If this was Relic of pre-Dawn of War 3, this was Relic of Company of Heroes 1, of Dawn of War 2, I'd probably just go, nah, it's Relic, they love what they do, there's no way they're gonna screw us over like that. But after Dawn of War 3, after them completely ignoring all of their fans, after them dumping support for the game out of nowhere, and then running sales on the game, whilst they were announcing that they were cutting support for it, Relic is no longer the company I remember, and they have done some real scummy shit in the past. And so when I see a game giving a pre-order at an abnormally high price, where they promise a DLC, an expansion pack, and the game, again, has glaring, glaring missing items, 5 months away from release, my only real conclusion is that they've got to be lying to us somehow, right? Either they're just doing this for a money grab, which I hope to be the pessimistic approach, and that's not likely, I hope, or they're lying to us about the release date, because this is not ready in 5 months. Like, holy hell, I've seen far more solid games than this not be ready in twice that time. So yeah. The addition of the Africa Corps, really cool. The addition of lots of units I've always wanted to see. The Lig, the Panzer III, etc. Really cool. The voice acting is okay, not quite up to Relic standards, I'd say, but it's fine. The sound design, what exists, is good. And the gameplay does feel a lot more like Company of Heroes. It absolutely does, particularly in comparison to the very first alpha, but there are a lot of red warning lights flashing right now, and I wish that wasn't the case, but I would not recommend you pre-ordering this game right now. There's going to be plenty of time for reviews to come out when it's actually live. I'd probably wait for some independent reviewers as well, considering the glowing reviews I've seen of the alpha in the mainstream gaming press, which, again, I've read through 4 or 5 articles on this. Not a one mentions the fact that the Opal Blitz doesn't have sound. Not a one mentions the missing assets. Not a one mentions bugs or problems, or the fact that it's released at a very high price point. Again, lots of red flashing lights, but I'll let you make up your own mind on that. Until next time, I am Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.